win the Super
Bowl. I thought we were skipping that guy. He was trash. Is he worth us talking?
Baker Mayfield. The only reason we could bring him up
so
right quick.
If we're talking side by side, never again. Yeah, let's do that. Let's give him a little shine because that's all he's worth, and I don't think he's going to make it. So he's gonna be on somebody else's roster next year. As a starter, no. If he stays in, the only way he can continue to be a starter is if he stays in Cleveland, and that's only because it's like, how do you have this guy and don't bring anybody else in after him to be a starter? Right? There's in the draft, I was looking at, who's coming out, next year, draft wise. There isn't really anybody who can come into Cleveland, take over his starting role, and be great.
And that team
got a lot of talent. Not say be great, be good enough. They do, which is unfortunate because it's like you look at the receivers, you look at the running backs, you look at the defense, it's stacked. But then the quarterback can't hold water. Like,
well, to be fair, and
why are we paying you
to be fair for Baker Mayfield, he is playing hurt. Now, granted that, I mean, he was struggling before the injury as well, but still he is playing hurt with his shoulder injury. But me personally, I like Baker Mayfield, but I don't see him as the quarterback of the future for the Cleveland Browns, and that's unfortunate because I think he's on his 5th-year option with the team. So I don't know. The Cleveland Browns have some decisions to make, either to stick with Baker Mayfield and pay him like another contract deal for possibly 4 or 5 years, or draft somebody. But you're taking a huge risk by drafting a new quarterback and then having to implement him and see how he might do. What you get with Baker Mayfield, what you see with Baker Mayfield is what you get. Now, granted, is he the best quarterback? No. Is he the worst quarterback? No. I think he's average. He's average. That's my personal opinion. I think he's average. He's middle of the road. He's like a top 15 quarterback, but unfortunately, average is not enough to help you win the Super Bowl.
Listen, is he worth a starter's contract?
No, I don't think so. No.
So here's who is in the market for somebody like this guy. Because honestly, once again, he's nothing but a role player. He's nothing but a serviceable backup quarterback. And you're talking about 2 games. He's not even. I'm gonna be. Keep it real on here, right? He is not even Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think Fitzmagic is better than Baker.
Fitzmagic.
I feel Fitzmagic is better than that guy.
You can make that case.
Baker, and that's. That's just my.
Mm-hmm. I look at it this way, right? I think the ballyhoo with Baker Mayfield was because of last year when of course with OBJ had got hurt, and then they started to take off. They finally made the playoffs. Since the last time they was able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoff and make it to the next round to play the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they were in striking distance to possibly win that game, and then they lost. Even though what's the quarterback for the Chiefs again?
Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes had got hurt, and like that was the opportunity to possibly beat him and win. And like possibly make a push for the playoffs, possibly, but then it didn't happen. And then people had high expectations for them this particular year with Odell coming back. And then when Odell did come back and they were struggling, they put the blame. They basically scapegoated Odell as a sacrifice to put the blame on him, saying he's the reason we're struggling. He's the reason because Baker Mayfield's trying to force targets down his throats, and he's being double coverage, or he's being high safety at the top and everything, and he's not making plays. He's not making Baker Mayfield look good. So then they release him, and now they're still struggling. So now what's the excuse? the only common denominator of the situation is Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, yeah. Like, I mean, listen, the moment they got rid of OBJ and they were still the same team, they weren't this explosive team, they should have really started thinking like, dang, maybe it wasn't OBJ. Like, maybe it really was Baker.
Yeah.
This guy's not getting the ball to playmakers. And the only reason why we are being explosive is because he's handing the ball off to Kareem Hunt. He's handing the ball off to Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
And they're doing their thing at running back. But when you're talking about trying to stretch the field and get the ball to, Donovan People-Jones or, that's really
Juice.
the only receiver that, I mean, Juice, yeah, he's there, but it's like, is he really there? Like, he ain't getting the ball to these receivers who can potentially do something for them. And it's like, well, it's not those guys. It's him.
If you asking Baker Mayfield to make a play, like 2 minutes left on the clock, and you like he has to drive the ball down the field to win the game, unfortunately, he can't do that for you. What he can do is try to take care of the football and let the team do what they do. Let the defense get sacks, turnovers, transition that to field goals, score touchdowns, and take care of the football. He could do that. He could be a decent game manager. But when you ask him to make a play to win you the game, he can't do that, unfortunately.
He can't do that. He can't. And listen, his future is obviously in Cleveland's hands. This is not even a situation where his future is in his hand, and where he can determine where he's going to go next. He has to figure out what Cleveland is going to do in regards to either giving him a franchise tag or just saying, I'm sorry, you got to go type deal, trade you, whatever. But good luck on his future. Whatever's next for him is next for him. And like I said, I wasn't a Baker fan, just like I wasn't a Johnny Manziel fan. Like those type players, I really don't.
I was neutral on Baker. I'm neutral.
I wasn't a fan. This guy,
I wasn't a fan of him, but I did wish like some success.
I didn't. And I mean, he just played in a way where it was just like, I don't like your style of play, guy. And maybe it was because he was just so arrogant and cocky with it, to where it was like, bro, you're not even the best person on the field. Like, your center is better than you. And you acting like you the best thing since sliced bread, bro. Like, no, get out of here. Go sit on the bench next to the water boy.
His defensive end, Myles Garrett's better than him, position-wise.
Exactly. Way better than him. And it's like, bro, get out of here. Like, if you can, like, really, if you, not, the running backs, if you can win us some games, then we can talk. But until then, like, I need you to go sit down somewhere and relax, because you're not the best guy.
With they're minded with his commercials. Like, he's on a commercial on YouTube, on TV, every other like commercial, and it's like, wow, like he has a lot of commercials for a quarterback that's not as producing as high as Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. Like, those guys, they have.
I was watching.
Go ahead.
I was listening to something on sports radio locally, and they were talking about how this guy right out the gate, he had all of these commercials and hadn't even started really winning games, but he's in all these commercials, and his focus is on that side of things more than it is on the game. And that's probably what's hurting him, because he has this outside limelight. He has this outside limelight that, he's needing to feed, and he's not really focusing on the game. And I'm like, man, that makes sense. That could be true, because, like, yo, if you can see how this guy's playing the game, it's like, oh my gosh, you really trying to showboat. You really trying to, like, boost your fans and not really boost, like, your teammates. You're not trying to, like, really work on that end. You're working on, all right, what's the next commercial I can be in? What's the next endorsement I can earn? And it's like, bruh, is that, like, so that's why I said, like, that's a bit of his arrogance that I didn't like when he was back in Oklahoma. I didn't like it. And I'm like, bro,
I feel like
the league don't need somebody like you. We
the
already
reason
got enough of them divas.
the part of the reason where like the lot of the I guess the shining limelight is on Baker Mayfield because the way he carried himself when he was playing at Oklahoma, he had a big chip on his shoulder. So he felt like he needs to be braggadocious, be bulgarious, be out there, like show like grit, show like bravery, courage, and let people know like, yo, I'm not scared. I'm like I could live up to the challenge. I could do this. I could defeat a team. And possibly I just feel like I'm not a man to like count another person's pocket. He's gonna continue doing what he do. If those commercials are helping pay him bills and he's making millions of dollars off it, hey, if you like it, I love it. But once your play on the field is struggling and people are gonna start, they're gonna start looking around. They're gonna be like, what's going on? Why is he not playing up to his standard? Is he not practicing? Is he going through personal issues? Is he distracted from football? And that distraction, is it the commercials? Is it the endorsements? Is he doing movies? Is he whatever? Is he not 100% all in on football? And that's going to play a factor in contract talks with the GM, with the owner. When they're looking at his play on the field, they're going to say, are you all in on the Cleveland Browns? Because you're struggling right now. You're on a contract year and you want us to pay you, but if we pay you all this money, are you going to be 100% in, or are you going to be worse of what you are now?
I get that. And like I said, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, the season is ending for him. He's not playing tomorrow in his last game. So, and he's actually about to undergo his surgery. So his season ended. But I'm just like, man, listen, whatever happens for this guy, listen, good luck. But I just don't see that. I'm hoping, and I know the Dolphins ain't dumb like that to go after somebody like that. But I ain't gonna lie, if the Dolphins ever pick up this guy, I'm no longer a Dolphin fan. No longer. Me and Chris Greer gonna have to have a conversation